I think these civil rights leaders are nothing more than racist. They're keeping their neighborhoods and their African-American brothers enslaved, if you will, by continuing to let them think that or force them to think that they're victims, that the whole system is against them. Articulate it better, Sean. It's so sad to me.
We can't even say you're articulate. We can't even give you guys compliments.
A fist bump, a pound, a terrorist fist jab. The gesture everyone seems to interpret differently.
It's all fair game. It's all fair. There's nothing brutal about it.
Look at the image of African-American women who are on television. They're usually angry about something. Maxine Waters, she's always angry every time she gets on television.
Congresswoman, step away from the crack pipe.
Cynthia McKinney was another angry black woman. So you don't really have a profile of non-angry black women.
The reason Trayvon Martin died was because he looked a certain way, and that way is how gangstas look. I don't think George Zimmerman would have any problem with him, but he was wearing a hoodie.
If he was high on some drug, angel dust or PCP or something, then we'll know. And that's entirely possible. Entirely possible. You could take a lot more than 6 bullets and keep charging.
Many of them are ill-educated and have tattoos on their foreheads.
Black-on-black crime, for instance, right now in Chicago, a bigger problem for the community than just the racism that you claim is in the criminal justice system.
Must they run their mouths like that?
This is what happens when you attempt to leave high school a year early to join the NBA.
Look in the mirror, thug in chief.
So what's with all the hoods and the hizzy?
Hey, black people, stop having 72% of your babies out of wedlock, and your kids won't be massively incarcerated and arrested.
During slavery, a black kid was more likely to be born under a roof with his biological mother and biological father than today.
Slaves that worked there were well fed and had decent lodgings.
People like Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton do not deserve to be called civil rights leaders. They are not. They are hustlers and pimps who make a living off inflaming racial tensions.
Well, first of all, there is no police brutality in America. We ended that back in the 60s.
Black Lives Matter, does it play an important role?
No, it's garbage. It's a subversive movement.
Your Democratic Party is going to allow the pigs in a blanket, fry-like bacon group to host a Democratic forum? What's wrong with your party? Don't you find that? Why don't you let the Klan host a party?
Black Lives Matter is killing Americans.
This is about people whining and bitching and moaning about nonsense. 17 unarmed black men were killed by the police last year. 17. That is not very many.
Black Lives Matter. They're the ones creating all the unrest.
I don't know where the black churches are. I don't know where the black teachers and leaders are.
Everything is about reforming the police. How about reforming the community? How about teaching young black men and women in these communities of color things like don't run from the police when you get stopped. Keep your hands on the steering wheel when you get stopped on a car stop. Don't make furtive movements. Don't put your hands in your pockets.
President Obama has long been, no one wants to say it, but it's true, America's chief racial arsonist. This may be a lot of things, this moment we're living through, but it is definitely not about black lives. LeBron James, for example, has been inciting violence, in my opinion, and yet if you say anything about it, you're the racist. How can someone like LeBron James, who should be ashamed of what he's done, get away with it? Too bad you're not friends with D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser. You could do anything. Bowser just renamed a park near the White House Black Lives Matter Plaza, and nobody criticized her for it. If Democratic leaders cared about saving the lives of black people, and they should, they wouldn't ignore the murder of thousands of young black men in their cities every year. They wouldn't put abortion clinics in black neighborhoods.
Markets hitting new highs despite the nationwide protests this week. To 1968, the week after the tragedy of Martin Luther King, the S&P 500 rose over 2%, also up the week after the Rodney King ruling.